Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the crypto forecast. And today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, BTC USD, all the time frames, and then talking a little bit about the price path for 2019. And I know, guys, I had this poll running on Telegram asking you what chart would you like to see on YouTube on Monday. And I know I have here Ripple that won the poll, but I'm going to be doing XRP tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget about this, but I'm going to, I try to keep this video short and easy to digest. So I think for today, all the time frames for Bitcoin, BTC are relevant. So I'm going to be doing that for today and XRP and BTC tomorrow. So let's just jump into the charts. Here we have the monthly candles and not a lot has happened. So we are still waiting for the price to probably, potentially touch the 15-month moving average and then bounce from there. But of course, if it starts bouncing now, it would still qualify as a bounce on the 15-month moving average because the price is closing off. So, it could either bounce now or maybe make a little bit more of a low and bounce exactly at the 50-month moving average, or maybe just go a little bit below it, forming a wick for the candle and then bounce. But this is the area that we're looking for the price to bounce. If it doesn't bounce, then I would say sideways. What I find very, very unlikely is that the price will just free fall below the 15-month moving average. I find that very, very unlikely. So at least I would expect the 50-month moving average to hold the price there for for a long time. Moving on to the weekly candles, and here we can see we just landed on the 200-week moving average, which is also a very long-term moving average that we've been watching for the price to get there and bounce here. So again, I expect a bounce anytime now. It can still go a little bit lower to more or less 2,900, which is the level where we have the 50-month moving average. So, I don't discount a little bit more of a low here and then bounce. But, the current, the previous weekly candle, which just closed yesterday, it closed above the 200-week moving average. If you see here, we have a little bit of a wick, but the candle closed above the 200-week moving average. So I expect the current candle that just opened today to also close above the 200-week moving average, but it's 7 days until the candle closes. So we could be, retesting the previous low, maybe even go just a little bit lower and then bounce from here. So I would expect this week to be a green weekly candle. Moving on to the daily candles, and we can see here that the pattern that has been forming for the past month or so, it's actually a descending wedge, which usually breaks bullish. So according to technical analysis, we still need to make a new low here, a lower low, to have 3 touches on support, because it usually does 3 touches on support and 3 touches on resistance, and then on the 3rd touch it breaks out. So we still need to make one more low here, which is what I was pointing out, down to around 2,900, which will be the 15-month moving average, and it will be also the support of this descending wedge. So it's double support, plus it's also a very significant high from 2017, the $3,000 top. So we have like triple strong support here. So I would expect from here to just bounce and then in the next touch on resistance break out. And if that was the case, then the target is at around $4,000. It could, of course, break out anytime now because we are, pushing on resistance. So it could break out anytime and not make the low. It's not like a rule that has to happen 100% of the times. However, I don't see the volume here. So until there's no significant volume increasing, I'm not going to be expecting a breakout. But of course, the volume can come anytime out of nowhere, when I'm not looking at the screen. So if you see a significant volume increasing when the price is either at support or resistance, it's pushing the line and the volume increasing, that usually signals that there's going to be a breakout incoming. So it could happen anytime from resistance or from support. Moving on to the 4-hour candles, and here we have this head and shoulder playing out that we can see from this time frame, and the target was, let's do it again, so from top to neckline, and then we move this right to the breakout level here. Again, guys, the target is always 2,900. So, you know, this target for the head and shoulder hasn't been made yet. So, you know, this level 2,900 more or less is very, very significant. Is the 50-month moving average, is the support of this descending wedge, is the target for this head and shoulder, and is the top of the previous bubble in 2017, the $3,000 top. So this level is very significant, and you know, I'm expecting this level to be made, and only from here then start bouncing and recovering. And if we don't see a significant recovery, at least I would expect this level to hold the price there for quite some time. Moving on to the hourly candles, and from here there's absolutely nothing new to see. You know, everything that you see here, you can see it in the 4-hour charts. The only thing is that this time frame is very, very useful to time your entries and exits, you know, on resistance or on support, because you can zoom in here and you can see the candlestick patterns right when it's touching the line. So this time frame is very useful to time the entries and exits. But after you do your technical analysis on bigger time frames. So I'm not going to spend any more time in this time frame. Now, the main topic for today was Bitcoin BTC 2019 price path. The line here at the top is the Bitcoin chart for the year. It starts in January 2013 and it finishes in January 2016. So it's 3 years. Maybe you can kind of see here in the background like these vertical lines. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on YouTube, but this line is January 13, this is January 14, January 15, and January 16. So it's exactly 3 years here. And here at the bottom, I dropped the chart for the Bitcoin BTC USD for the current, you know, bull and bear market. So this starts in the beginning of 2017 and this finishes today. So this is what we've done so far. So what we see here now, we've been following more or less the same highs and lows. This kind of high here, like rounded kind of top, it's probably this one here that we had this year. And then, you know, this last push up, sideways market and capitulation would be this one here, the last push up and sideways kind of downtrending and then breakdown. This is capitulation. You don't see, it doesn't look like much capitulation here in this chart, because this is the logarithmic with line, not candles. But if we look at the actual chart here, you can see we did have a very, very big capitulation here before the final capitulation. So I have been saying, maybe you guys remember from my previous videos, when we were stuck at 6,000, I said we were right here in this part of the market that was going sideways for a very long time and the volume was getting ridiculous low. This was the point of lowest volume out of the whole bear market, and I was saying the same thing was happening here when it was stuck and consolidating at 6,000 and going to the lowest volume of the bear market. I was expecting a violent break and an increase of volume, and that's just exactly what happened here after breaking 6K. And this is what happened here in 2014 when the volume was so low and then it capitulated and it's, you know, the volume went up significantly. So I think we are right now here in the map. Here, from this capitulation to the actual absolute bottom, it took 3 months to get there. We had a period of being stuck here again. This time, because things are happening slower, if the last time it took 3 months, here, you know, it's better to always assume the worst case scenario to be prepared just in case. So I would say maybe 6 months, and then I would expect at least another 6 months of sideways market before we can actually start uptrending. So for 2019, I expect 6 months bear market and 6 months sideways market, more or less. The technicals, you know, are showing us that we are near capitulation, but just not yet there. But we are near. But looking at market sentiment, guys, I still see a lot of a lot of hope and a lot of hype, like way too much. After this recent capitulation, I would expect people to lose faith a little bit more, but I still see just way too much positivism and way too much hype and hope. People talking about ETFs and Fidelity and Backed, they're gonna come and save the day. Guys, institutional investors or smart money, they don't buy into hyped markets. And I know now it's not as hyped as it was last year. The hype is dying off, but it's still hyped. There's still a lot of hope. Big investors and big money, they will wait it out. They will not buy into the hype. They will wait until the sentiment is absolutely negative, until Bitcoin is not on mainstream media every second day. Even if you believe in crypto, even if you believe in the Bitcoin narrative, even if you believe in the tech and all that, if you are so broke that you have to start making money in some other place, some other way, your focus and your energy and your time is going to be in this other place, and you're not going to be looking at crypto anymore. And if time goes by, one more year passes while you've been concentrating in this other thing, in another job, another business, whatever it is that you do to make money, after 1 year of concentrating in this other thing, you're not going to be you're not going to remember about crypto so much. And that's the moment when big institutions and smart money will start to buy, when people have actually forgotten about cryptocurrency. But I think when it comes to market sentiment, we're far away from there. Looking at the price drop, I would think people would have, should have lost faith by now. But if price is not making people lose faith, the only thing that will be time. So it needs to, there needs to be a long time of downtrend, of sideways market, for people to actually forget about crypto and concentrate in other things. And when no one is talking about crypto anymore, when you don't see CNN talking about crypto every day, or CNBC, Fast Money, or all other, the Wall Street Journal, when you don't see Bitcoin news or crypto news, then is when smart money and big investors are going to be interested in start buying. Not because the asset will be available, let's say the ETF is approved, not because they have easier access to the asset, it means they will just want to buy it. No, that it has nothing to do with that. Smart money will wait until the market sentiment is absolutely negative and no one is talking about crypto anymore. So guys, just to summarize here, I think 2019 will be 6 months downtrend and another 6 months, at the least, of sideways market to just weed out all the people that doesn't belong here. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow right here. Bye.